Yes. Do
Okay. I think that's too big.
No, I think that works.
Go on then, go.
Wait, oh, look at that, you can't even see my teeth.
This is so massive.
Stop.
Go. Okay. Oh. If you have sex under 16, you'll go to prison.
In short, no. That's one we come across quite a lot.
Yeah, all the time.
Talking about how, young people under the age of 16 do have sex, don't you? Now, I think a lot of them think that they might be classed as criminals if they do that. And that's a really, really tough place for a young person to be in, certainly if they're exploring their kind of sexualities and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to remember that they're not going to go to prison if they have sex necessarily under the age of 16, unless the act that they commit is an offence to someone else.
Yeah.
So that might be something that wasn't free choice, or that person didn't have capacity, but they're not necessarily going to get arrested.
No, definitely, I agree with that.
Okay.
Get out the jar. Right. If there's less than 2 years age gap, it's okay for a couple to have sex.
Okay, again, this is one about age that we get all the time. Young people sometimes believe that if it's 2 years, then it's not that much of a big deal. But obviously, if one of them is over 16 and one of them is under 16, then that's going to be breaking the law around consent, because obviously the person under 16 can't give their consent. So, yeah, of course, if the couple were 17 and 19, there'd be nothing wrong with them having sex if they're both consenting, but if one of them was under 16, then obviously that would be a problem. Okay. You can hit a woman if she has hit you 3 times before.
Yeah, I don't know where this one comes from. I often get, when we talk about kind of violence and whether it's okay or not okay to hit someone, often we get this split where guys say it's not okay for a guy to hit a woman. And then out of nowhere comes this myth that if a female was to hit you 3 times, then it gives you the right to hit them back. And I think where did that come from? Where did that myth come from? And it's really, really important that they understand that actually violence is not okay, whether it's guy to guy, woman to woman, whatever it might be. So yeah, definitely, it's a really interesting one. It does make me baffle as to wonder where that might have come from, really.
Yeah, I think it might be down to self-defence and thinking that obviously young people can defend themselves, but it's the whole gender thing, isn't it? Just because it's a woman or a female hitting a male, it doesn't mean that she's allowed to do that more so than a male to a female.
Definitely. Your parents can give you consent if you're under 16.
I'm really laughing because we get that one all the time. I don't know where that one came from, but it's something we get asked all the time, isn't it? Like, in sessions, if we're talking about consent and we're talking about having sex, and obviously talking about the age of consent being 16, a lot of young people think that your parents can give consent on your behalf. Now, they can in certain things like school trips, and potentially maybe getting some piercings you might be able to get underage if your parents give you consent. But talking about sexual consent, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, no parents, no carers, no adults can give consent for another adult, and definitely cannot give consent for someone who is under the age of 16 to partake in any sexual acts. Just because your parents say it's okay doesn't necessarily make it okay.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I think like you said, where parents can often give us consent, even for things like doctors and stuff like that as well. I think that there's this myth again that actually the parents can say, yeah, that's okay, but they say consent belongs to you, isn't it? It's not, it can't be decided upon someone else's thoughts.